Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Yep, I'm still here in Ottawa. Haven't left for London yet. We'll see what happens the rest of this week. But I do have some cruise news today. We have some people waking up today and having their cruise canceled. We also have Royal Caribbean announcing that they're having a new destination in the Caribbean that people will soon be able to enjoy. Also, we have a whole pile of changes happening to the brand new Sun Princess, especially with their dining. I'll have all that info for you. Then we have Carnival, and there's two stories with Carnival. One of them is that they are talking about adding solar energy into Barcelona as part of their green initiative, and wait till you hear the amount of changes that will do. Plus, Carnival is reminding people to please be respectful on the Lido deck at busy times. Let's see people weigh in on this one. So Royal Caribbean has had to cancel some reservations on the Rhapsody of the Sea. And the reason is something happened to one of the vessel's lifeboats. Most likely it's the mechanical issue with raising and lowering it. And by law, they have to have a certain percentage of lifeboats. Usually it's 150% of the capacity on board. And if they don't have that, they're not allowed to bring that many passengers on board. So unfortunately, some passengers have been notified that, yeah, because of this, their cruise is canceled. Now, guests are offered a full refund. If you had flights, they're offering up to $200 refund per person for flights as well, plus a future credit going forward. It's an unfortunate accident thing that happened. It's just, by law, they're not allowed to do it. So I'm sure if they could, they would definitely want those passengers on board. If you're one of the unlucky ones, I'm sorry that that's happened, and it's very short notice to try and book anything else. And but at least you're going to get your money back. Hopefully you're not already on the way to the cruise or expecting to get off another cruise and hop on this one. Those are not fun at all. Speaking of Royal Caribbean, they are doing a lot, right? They're building a new, area only in Nassau for Royal Caribbean. They're like a private little island section. They're doing one in Cozumel as well. So these will probably be cheaper than the current ones that are being offered in those locations and give more options for people to do things in these destinations. But people are always saying, hey, we need some more stops sometimes. We need more destinations. Well, they are now also working on Cabo Rojo in the Dominican Republic, and it looks currently under construction like this, but eventually once they're done, they're hoping that it will look like this. And they've actually started adding these schedules onto next year's sailings in 2026. So that's good news. It looks like they're pretty confident it'll be up and running. And it looks like a very fun little area, private pools, etc., restaurants. So another destination in the Caribbean. I'm all for that. The more places we have to go, the more we can spread out our cruise ships and the less crowded the port scene, even during the summer when it's really, really busy. Carnival, by the way, in Barcelona is building currently solar panels on the roofs of two of the terminals there. So much power they expect to be generated from this solar power that they will be able to run the entire terminal on that solar power. Not only that, they say about 33 to 35% they'll have excess energy, and they will put that back on the grid and be able to put energy out to other areas around the cruise terminal and the cruise port. So it's actually going to be a cheaper option for Carnival, as well as obviously much more eco-friendly, and people will be a lot happier with that. Plus they're giving back energy to the system. So good news there. Glad it might be nice to see that happen in a lot more ports, so people can say, hey, when they're in port, the energy that they're using for all these things, it's all green energy and solar power, and then that's just one less thing for people to be able to complain about cruise ships. Let's talk about my cruise coming up very soon. I am on the Princess, Sun Princess. You remember I went on a sailing, got to spend 10 days on board, but there were no shows, but I did experience some of the dining on board. It was really good, really liked it. However, they've decided, remember this is a brand new design of ship. It's the first time they've ever built this Sphere class of ship. So they've discovered that, you know what, we need more space for dining for this venue and less dining room for this kind of thing. So they're moving around a bunch of their dining venues. For instance, the Butcher Block, and Rudy's was in one section together across from each other, and now they're being moved to a completely different area altogether. The Crown Grill is moving. They're moving an area for the Sanctuary restaurant. They're changing a lot on board. Plus the Park 19 upstairs will now be more of an adult only area where they will have the hammocks up there and a sports court, and just they're making changes, and they're making it, I think they started on the cruise that's leaving today, as a matter of fact, and then they'll continue on my transatlantic making these changes. What it's going to mean for me for dining, I don't know. Will I be able to get into some of these restaurants? Will it be moving chairs around, or is it just a matter of changing the signs and putting a few things here and there? No changes are coming to the, Love by Brito or the Spellbound. Those are paid extra events. Those events and locations are staying the same, but I'm very curious. The Americana restaurant will be changing. Different names are coming out. It's just going to be okay. It's like a brand new ship again I'm getting on, and I'm going to have to get oriented back on board. But I know we have a ton of people on at Christmas time, December 7th on our group cruise, as well as in March as well. Well, I'll bring you all these changes so you get ready and have the best experience when you get on board and you're prepared for it. Hope you'll join me. Hope I can get there with the pilot strike still looming in the background here. Oh my goodness. But now let's talk quickly about Carnival. Carnival Cruise Line. Well, you know what? Before I get there quickly, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from the solar power being installed, to the cruise ship cancellations, to the new changes coming to the cruise ships. I'll try and keep you as best informed as I can, and I'll try and save you a little bit of money and a lot of frustration on your next cruise. And it's just meant to be fun. Let's talk about cruising and have a good time on the channel. And I really do appreciate it. Okay, Carnival has had an incident where two guests were up in the Lido deck right around 12:45, which is a very busy time if you've ever been on a cruise ship. The buffet area, and people are looking for places to sit. Well, we had two people that were playing cards at a table for 6. Now, I'm not sure, if they took up the whole space, where one person sitting on one and then left the space empty, and then another person was sitting across from them on the other corner, so they're kitty corner and taking up the whole. But a crew member came and asked them if they would mind leaving so they could have, room for 6 people to sit down and actually eat their lunch, because these people were just playing cards. You can do that anywhere, right? You can do that in your stateroom. You can do that on the pool deck. You can do that on the car, in a lounge. You can do it in an empty dining room. You can do it all over the ship. And these people wrote into John Hill. They weren't too happy about, and first of all, they come across that the crew member was rude. And John Hill dismissed that, saying they were just doing their job, not being rude by asking you to leave, because that's what we're trying to do. Clear up space for everybody. Let's take that with a grain of salt. But what do you think? You're sitting there, you're allowed to play cards. You've been there probably before the lunch crowd started, or you finished lunch and you just decided to break out the cards and play a game of cards, and maybe when the waiters came around, you would order another drink while you're sitting there. Do they have a right to sit there and play cards? Do they have to eat? Or is it only reserved for dining people? If people finish their meal, how long do the crew give them before they kick them out of those chairs and make them move? Right? This isn't a specialty dining restaurant with other reservations coming. It's a first come, first served basis. So I'm kind of torn on this. Now, Myself, I probably wouldn't sit there. I'd go someplace else and play my card game. If I wanted to drink, I'd go to a bar area, do that. But I still don't know if these people shouldn't have the right to sit there. That's my question of the day for you guys. What do you think? Do you think, hey, they paid their money, they're not harming anybody, they were there first, should they be allowed to just sit there and play cards, even though people are looking for a place to sit? And maybe they could have still sat people on the edge of the table, and they sat across from each other. I don't know, but I kind of side a little bit with the passengers on this one. Let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.